But since he has come to U of L, he doesn't feel like he has to do that. You can't tell me that Pitino lives, sleeps, and eats basketball at U of L.
I think he does. He says he watches West Coast NBA games late at night.
Oh, sure.
He does. He's a basketball junkie, just like he's ever been.
No, he would not. He would not. The Pitino at Kentucky would not allow the things to happen that have happened not just once, not just twice, but time and time again at U of L. Time and time again. How many misses has U of L had in the Pitino era?
Recruiting?
Just in general.
You got to swing the bat in order to strike out, and he struck out plenty at U of L. And it creates for all sorts of drama so that all the Kentucky fans who live in Louisville and like to create drama can stir shit up. And it's stirred up all the time. But that's what happens. It turns into just a big shit fest. Just shit stirred up everywhere. He struck out plenty. Is that what you're asking? He struck out plenty. A lot more than I would like. A lot more. But he's done fine on the recruiting rankings as far as the guys who have shown up. None of them are sure things, but the guys he's gotten to play are not as bad as everybody makes it out to be.
Like his point guard, his last point guard to be drafted in the EPA was Billy Donovan. Is that right?
True. It's a good point. Well, who was the last point guard that Calipari had, or shooting guard that Calipari had drafted in the NBA? Chris Douglas Roberts?
But
to say that argument and then point, you're saying point guard's more important.
It is very hard in the week that Derrick Rose, the first Calipari recruit, racks up his NBA MVP. And it's hard to say that John Wall won't be in that conversation, not as quickly as
I'm not
Derrick
suggesting
Rose,
he won't.
But that's what I'm saying is the players are different than they were in the early to mid-'90s.
And Pitino, a basketball junkie, is making an effort at adapting. And it's not as if he's just outdated. He's
adapting to Calipari's system is what he's doing.
Nah, not quite. No.
Not quite, but
no, he's not saying you come to my school and you're going to play 1 year and you're going to the pros. No, I don't think he's doing that.
He dreams to be that way.
No, I really just think it is the one. I think
awful foolish.
I think it is the one. I think old crusty Jim Calhoun wants it more than Pitino. Like Pitino quoted.
You think old crusty Jim Calhoun wants it more than Pitino?
In the rules of success, he's got he's got multiples. Pitino doesn't. But in Pitino's book, the rules to success, successes of choice with Pat Forty or whatever, he said the biggest problem he had was coming in and signing the recruitment letters that went out to the recruits. He wants his system. He sees himself as a CEO. And the CEO puts together the systems, and they work in place, and then he goes out and does what he wants to do. But I'm sorry, college basketball does not work like that. Professional sports do not work like that.
You can tell Pitino that it doesn't work like that, or Calipari can tell Pitino it doesn't work like that. That is comical.
How is it comical?
Pitino knows what he's doing. Look at his recruiting rankings. The guys he has coming in this upcoming season, the guys that he's had come in since he's been at U of L, have not been slouches. They've been fine.
Yes. Oh, yes. And
they could have easily won a title. It's hard to predict how guys will mesh. It's hard to predict that you'll have a nut job like, and I don't know. I don't actually know that Amir Johnson. I don't know much about him, honestly. It's hard to predict that guys like that will flake out, whatnot. I mean, Pitino has brought the talent. He's put the effort in on the recruiting trail. He's put the effort into getting the assistant coaches that will recruit. He hasn't won a national title, so we got all these people with their chest puffed out acting like he sucks. It's ridiculous. Ridiculous.
Oh, yes, and definitely. And he could have gone along with that, but I really think he's just struck out since Calipari came to Lexington, since Calipari put the heat on him.
Even though he has a top 7 recruiting class coming in this upcoming season, you think he's struck out?
No, this season. But
okay, well then what season are you talking about if you're not talking about this incoming freshman class? Which class are you talking about? The 2012 class?
Well, let's talk about post-2005 Final Four. That team, granted, it came into the Big East.
You want to bring it up here?
No tournament appearance. No tournament. He geared that No tournament
had Earl Clark and Derek Character
coming into the Big East. Look how Derek Character turned out. He was suspended more times than he played. You know, it took Terrence Williams 4 years to get to be a star, and then he comes in. It's finally the culmination, and they couldn't even get to the Final Four. Tommy Izzo the foreign player hit 6-7 jump shots from the top of the elbow, couldn't do nothing. The biggest thing was him and Terrence Williams getting into it on the sidelines, and then him benching Terrence Williams. The thing I have about that is, again, I'm the Calipari apologist tonight, but we all saw it on national television. It was a spot on PTI, all the big names. He told Terrence Jones, "You are a selfish motherfucker. Motherfucker, pass the fucking ball." That was close to his words to Terrence Jones.
Are you suggesting Pitino doesn't say things like that to his players?
No, he does. But what did Calipari do?
Isn't it funny that we're taking these stances? I'm like, Pitino does so call his players things like that. That's what I'm saying.
Oh, I'm sure he does.
He does too.
Anybody that's played basketball knows that a coach will get into you like nobody else has in your whole entire life.
Okay.
But the thing I will say about this is he benched Terrence Williams in that Elite Eight game. Calipari will go after you. He will probably say the worst things to you that you have ever heard. But Terrence Jones stayed on the floor. You know,
you're saying that Pitino benched T-Will?
Yeah. In a very, very important game.
So you think there's something wrong with that?
Yes. If that's your guy, if that's your promoter. How many times was there the self-promotion of T-Will by Rick Pitino?
He's not Calipari, and I hope to God he never tries to pretend like he is. Is that what you're saying? He should act like he's John Calipari?
No, I
certainly hope he's not.
I want to see results. I don't. You can't. Maybe it was all right before when Tubby was struggling and the team, down south was kind of a second thought. You could coast at Louisville, but no longer can you coast. And the only thing I'll say about that is you make too much money to coast.
Pitino is not coasting. To suggest he's coasting with the recruiting classes he's brought to Louisville, who when he came here was not in the shape of a recruiting giant that Pitino has single-handedly turned them into while bringing them to the Big East and into the Yum Center, is comical. I mean, it's a non-issue. To see what Pitino has done here to suggest he has coasted, I don't know what to say to it.
Okay. I mean,
I don't know.
We gotta get out here, guys, and you can react to this, Kelly. But the only thing I'll say, is getting out of the first weekend of the NCAA tournament, twice out of the last 6 years, that'll get you fired in Lexington. It should create more of a concern in Louisville, because Louisville, I grew up here, I live in this city. We've won 2 national titles. It's a college big boy. Just because we live in the same state as one of the godfathers of college basketball does not mean that we pursue Final Fours and pursue national titles. And I don't feel like Pitino is doing that.
Who is going to come in here and be the head coach and give them a better chance? Who? I didn't mean to hit you.
No,
Who? You tell me.
Exactly.
Richard Pitino.
Seriously, Brad Stevens and his slow down tubby ball? Who? Who's going to come in here and give him a better chance? You tell me.
And that's a very good question. I completely agree with you.
Okay.
I do think Pitino is the right guy for the job. I just think
there's nobody. I mean,
guys, I know
Coach K. Will he come here? You think Coach K will go sign up for a new gig?
Conversation here, but we do need to move topic. You guys have gone a little bit extreme.
Beat the hell out of this.
Yes.
Okay. Well,
and I think it's great. But we honestly need to move on.
And if anybody is out there, if you're a Pitino apologist, if you're a Calipari apologist, tell us what you have to think. If we're just way off topic on what we're talking about
seriously, share it with us. We do listen. We've been getting a lot more calls on the rant line at 1-877-452-1231. We do want to know what you have to say.
And I'm sure this is not live, so I'm sure a lot of you want to chime in on what we're saying, because you're listening to this and you hear how passionate they are, but I'm sure you're feeling the same feelings. Call the rant line. Let us know, and we'll play it on the show. We will. I promise you. I'll put it on. I'm a producer. I can do that.
Matt really has gotten into himself lately. Just the other night, we were doing some editing, and I said, "Hey, man, is it cool if I set my drink there?" And he said, "Hey, man, this is my house.
Don't
You set your
it
drink
there.
over there." And he just pointed, just to be a prick, he pointed to the opposite place. I
Well,
mean, he's not very easy to work for.
he asked if he could stay the night one night because we got real late at a show one night. I said, "Sure. I've got a hammock in the back. You can lay in if you like. Those are pretty comfortable.
Egomaniac.
Hammocks are pretty comfortable.
Egomaniac, this guy.
No,
He kind of fits in the Patino mode like that.
In all seriousness, I don't think Matt has the extramarital affairs that Patino has. But in all seriousness, outside of that, we need to move on to a commercial break. You know, this has been great stuff here. Move on to a commercial break. We'll be right back at you.
We'll talk a little horse racing. Something that Patino might be a little more passionate about than basketball.
I swear to
like a
God.
horse sound.
That was good horse sound.
Thank you.
We'll be right back.
I practiced
KentuckySports.co radio show.
See you guys.